and the response meta program. Reflective, inactive, active. So are you slow to action or quick to action? Do you prefer to reflect upon all facets of a project before taking action, or do you find yourself just jumping straight in and then thinking about it later? Do you need a well-formed plan, or do you work it out as you go along? So Warren Buffett, he's a wealth dynamics accumulator, and he gathers all the information on every company on the stock exchange such that when he makes a decision, he's absolutely certain of himself. Yet this wouldn't work for a creator. A creator needs to be able to take action based upon limited information, and there's no right or wrong way about this, okay? Now, in martial arts, there's no time for reflection. So the fighter must put aside all thoughts and take action based upon what occurs in the moment. So you will find that the best martial artists are probably options rather than procedural, and a perceiver rather than a judger. And their time thought is present rather than past or future. So reflection and action towards and away from meta programs, they're related to how you make a decision. We're motivated by moving away from something and moving towards something. We reflect upon the consequences of not taking action, or what you might lose if you take action, and the consequences or rewards of taking action. We weigh up the pros and cons. At some point, we make a decision. So now we look at the frame of reference meta program. It's the authority source, internal, external. So the frame of reference used in making a decision is, so are you the authority or is someone else the authority? Do you need to get permission from another person to make a decision? Or can you make a decision based upon what you know, or do you need to get someone else's opinion? Can you make the decision by yourself, or do you need someone to tell you what to do? So at times it will be appropriate to make a decision based upon what you know and who you are, but other times it could be essential to get an opinion from someone else. In most cases, an internal reference with an external check is the best option. And those people with an external reference may give away their power, like to a multi-level marketer, a guru, a religious leader, or a scripture. The person who's external in self-reference may believe in the religious scripture with the focus on self. The person who is external and other may believe in a religious scripture with the focus on converting or helping others. And then we get the reason or modal operator sort. So this is necessity or possibility. Do you take action because you need to, or are you motivated by what you could achieve? So the necessity possibility meta program is also related to the away from towards. So are you looking to stay out of trouble or seduced by the opportunities that life presents to you? Now, modal operators, they're those words in grammar that indicate necessity or possibility. For example, some words that indicate necessity are need to, have to, got to, must, should, ought to, it's time. And some words that indicate possibility are can do, will do, want to, may do, try to, it's possible, choose, able to. And then we get to the classification scale. This is the either or and meta program. So the classification meta program determines whether a person uses an or an and way of thinking. Does the style of thinking demonstrate a continuum or two discrete dimensions? Does the person think in terms of black and white or in shades of grey that join both ends of the continuum? Do they go to extremes of behaviour, or do they demonstrate moderation? For example, a cigarette smoker may cut down from, say, 30 cigarettes a day to 1, yet claim that the hypnotherapy didn't work for them because, to them, smoking 1 cigarette a day means that they're still a smoker. So they go back to smoking 30 cigarettes a day. So they either smoke to an extreme or don't smoke at all. Another example comes to mind. So a woman embarks on an intense health and fitness regime for a period of time in which she reaches her health and fitness goals. Then one day she eats too much chocolate, puts on weight, and stops her exercise routine. So the client I have in mind, she actually marked out one behavior with her left hand and the other behavior with her right hand. She said, either I go to the gym and get fit, strong, and healthy, or I eat chocolate and ice cream and get really fat. Why? So part of the solution was to help her to bring awareness to both aspects of her personality at the same time and build in a connection between both ends of the continuum such that she could eat chocolate and go to the gym. So in this way, she began the process of meeting both her emotional needs and her achieving her fitness goals. And now we get to information staging. This is the counting and discounting meta program, the foreground, background meta program. So most people would have seen the black and white image of an old woman. She looks old when you look at her one way, and then she looks young when you look at her another way. So do you notice what's in the foreground or what's in the background? Do you notice what's directly in front of your face or what's in your periphery? Is your awareness on the message that the advertiser presents to you or on what their intention might be? Is your awareness on the message that the politician presents to you or what the hidden message might be? On what the politician says or what he is not saying? Do you take people at face value or look for other aspects of the message? When you do something well, does that count, or do you discount and say that doesn't count? When someone else does something well, does that count, or do you say that's not good enough? So those people who run like a perfectionist strategy, they'll often discount what they do because it's just not good enough. So one way to build self-worth is to begin counting every little thing that you do. For example, did you dress yourself this morning? Does that count? Hopefully your answer is yes. And did you feed yourself? Does that count? Did you get yourself to work? Does that count? Can you spell your name? Does that count? And so on. So when you bring something into the foreground, then it counts. When you move it into the background, then maybe it doesn't count and you've discounted it. And you get discounters may make statements like, oh, but they're only a minority. All right, so now we get to the representational system meta program. This is the visual, auditory, kinesthetic. Abbreviates to VAK. So what's your preferred representational system preference? That is visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. So when people are in visual mode, they will use words that presuppose that modality. For example, words that presuppose use of the visual modality are words like see, look, show, illustrate, color, bright, sparkle, radiate. And words that presuppose use of the auditory modality are words like talk, hear, speak, have a word, sound, volume, turn it up, tempo, tune, etc. And words that presuppose use of the kinesthetic sense are feel, touch, hold, get a handle, grasp, warm, cool, get in touch with, etc. And then you get those people who are more like auditory digital. They use few sensory-based words. So now we get to the convincer representation meta program. How do you know that you've made a good decision? Is it something that you see, hear, do, or read? Or are you never really convinced? And then the convincer demonstration, this is the reassurance strategy meta program. So the convincer representation is related to the convincer demonstration, otherwise known as the reassurance strategy. So you might be convinced that you made a good decision, yet there could still be a feeling that you need reassurance. And does the reassurance come after like a period of time, or a number of times that you use, experience, or practice something? So by now, you should have a better understanding of personality types and the differences that can make a huge difference in one way or another in business, relationships, in government, in politics, in religion. Now, there are differences in personality type which, if they were addressed, could make a significant difference. And if you want to learn more about how to get from the back seat into the driver's seat of your mind, then look at my other videos and feel free to contact me from abbyeagle.com, and I look forward to talking to you soon.